In this sourdough quick tip, I'm going to show you how I calculate feeds for any ratio with no waste in my 4 simple steps to calculate feed amounts. The first step you need to do is to look at the recipe and decide on the total active starter you need. So if your recipe calls for 150 grams of starter, you'll need to replenish some of that to place it back into the fridge. I usually do 10 grams. Then I always account for about 5 extra grams of extra starter due to loss, some get stuck to the jar, etc. So in total, I'll need 165 grams. Next, I'll need to choose a feed ratio, and I'll talk about this in the next video. For this example, we're going to use a 1 to 5 to 5 ratio. Next, we're going to calculate the weight of one part. So you'll look at the total starter needed divided by the total number of parts, which will give us the weight of one part. So in this example, we have 165 grams of starter divided by 11 parts. So each part in our ratio is 15 grams. Next, we'll calculate the weight of each part. So if each part is 15 grams, our starter is 1 part, which is 15 grams. Our flour is 5 parts, so 15 times 5 is 75. And our water is also 5 parts. Same thing, 15 times 5, 75 grams. So in order to use this feed ratio of 1 to 5 to 5, I would take 15 grams of starter and feed it 75 grams of flour, 75 grams of water, giving us a total starter of 165 grams. Exactly the amount we calculated that we needed. And you can use this exact same calculation and the exact same formula to figure out your feed amounts for absolutely any recipe and any feed ratio. And remember, the ratio of flour to water needs to be adjusted depending on the flour that you're using, as all flours have different abilities to absorb water. So I suggest just adjusting the amount of water until your starter passes the jiggle test, like we talked about in the last tip. Another really useful tip is if the amount of starter that you need is not divisible by the total number of parts, just increase the amount of starter slightly so that it is divisible. This makes the math so much easier. So join me for my next hot sourdough starter tip, where I'm going to demystify how to choose the right ratio and all the easy factors that I use to make my decision. So don't let your starter be enough to mark you crazy. Join me next time for more quick sourdough tips. And please like and subscribe to my channel for more.